Social media and influencer culture has normalized overconsumption like never before. It is not normal to do a activewear haul every couple of weeks with a full bag of brand new clothes. It is not normal to own a designer luxury handbag. It's not normal to spend $300 at Mecca on a new serum. It is not normal to go to the hairdressers every week for a blow wave. It's also not normal to go to Bali 3 times a year for a retreat. It's also not normal to go out for brunch multiple times a week. None of that's normal. Now, if you like doing these things, that's totally okay, but we probably shouldn't normalize them and make it the standard, because that's just not the case. Going overseas used to be a luxury. Buying a new outfit was for a special occasion. And spending hundreds of dollars on skincare just absolutely is not the norm. So if you're watching on the other side of the screen and you're feeling bad because you don't have endless amounts of parcels coming in the mail, really expensive skincare and makeup products, or all the beauty treatments you see online, remember, it's not normal.
If I ask you to envision gluttony, there's a good chance you'd be thinking of someone scarfing down insane amounts of food. And hey, that's not wrong. That is gluttony, and it's easily the most common representation of it. However, when you dive deep into what gluttony means, you'd come to find there's so much more to it than just food. Overindulgence happens to come in many forms. Overconsumption is now no longer limited to the confines of messy mukbangs and $1,000 DoorDash orders. Not anymore, because these days, we've seen gluttony manifest in every imaginable form, even from somewhere as harmless as your online shopping app. Back then, nice clothes used to be something you only went on a spree for during holidays. Vacations used to be quite sparse unless you were packing some serious money, and we certainly didn't hoard colorful tumblers just for the sake of it.
Let's talk about some things that TikTok has made us feel are very, very normal in terms of our consumption habits that actually are not super normal. And if your life doesn't look like this, or if you're not doing these things, but every single time you get on this app and you see influencers doing it and you're like, does everybody live this way? Like, does everyone's life except for mine look like this? I just want you to know you're not alone.
One thing I've noticed about overconsumption today is that it really is getting pushed into our faces every single minute. Unless you're knee-deep into an ultra-niche type of content, there's a good chance you've stumbled upon 1, 2, or 10 hauls already. The thing these influencers do is that they will be heavy on to proving you into romanticizing your life, which doesn't sound all too bad because they could be encouraging you to eat better, to exercise more, maybe to be kinder to yourself. But a lot of these types of content tend to devolve into encouraging you to spend in order to acquire some kind of product. That may come in the form of some hip new mug, a flowy new dress, maybe nicer shoes, as strange as putting flowers and a fur cover on your toilet seat. They will make it seem like you need it, as if these things are necessary to not only fit in, but to also feel more whole in a way, which sounds a bit dystopian, huh? TikTok has pushed a massive resurgence for these must-have videos. For those videos, someone shows off a shiny new trinket they bought off of Amazon. Then they show how it makes their desk or their car or even the drawers nobody bothers opening look aesthetic. And as people who are drawn to beauty and really just anything interesting, you get this strange sense of, wow, I wish I had that. That is not entirely your fault, no. Remember, these people are influencers, so it literally is their job to influence you into something new. A lot of them get commission money and direct payment for promoting certain products under their pages. The bigger ones even get massive PR packages that are honestly 80% flashy packaging, 20% product. Influencers of today have more or less turned into the modern-day telemarketers, just repainted to cater to more audiences at the comfort of social media doom scrolling. Though I will say, not all of them even get paid for selling the image of certain aesthetics or lifestyles. Some influencers are just very deep into the image they portray themselves as. It comes to a point wherein they will subtly nudge you towards the direction of trying to live as they do, because part of their job is to make their life look glamorous. And once you're sold on it, you get hooked. It only takes an appealing video or two to go, whoa, their life looks so cool. For many, it doesn't just stop at simple admiration. You may very easily start to try to emulate their style, from the way their study table is organized to even the phone case they own. This rings true for a lot of people, especially the youth. I myself am no stranger to getting hyperfixated on certain aesthetics because they happen to look elegant or adorable. After stumbling upon a preppy little video of someone with their cute, sparkly daily routine, it can get very easy to just open up Amazon and... because that instant gratification? It's an addiction like no other.
Social media conditions us to have that short attention span, to look for that instant gratification and to see all these amazing, beautiful things that we wish we could have. Shopping allows us to get it instantly. People are exhausted, people are discouraged, and people are tired. They work their shitty fucking jobs that don't pay them jack shit. Basically, it's just a lot of fucking work to exist right now. It's a lot of work to survive right now. And people are looking for easy ways to cope from that. Social media is a distraction from real life things that are bothering us in real life.
Now this right here, it hits hard. I'm not going to act like I've never fallen deep into the pits of seeking that sweet dopamine hit of getting something new and snazzy. I've bought whole posters of bands that I haven't once hung on my walls just yet. There are clothes in my closet that haven't seen the light of day. I have random trinkets lying here and there that I only ever remember when it's deep cleanup time every few months. Yes, I own all those things. Why? The answer is simple. It just felt exciting to buy them at the time. In my head, I like to visualize myself as this non-materialistic person. I'd like to think of myself as someone who isn't a whole shopaholic. And while sure I haven't gotten into influencer levels of hoarding, I certainly had my moments of unnecessary purchases. Those fluffy slippers I used about 10 times, they reminded me of the ones my doll used to wear, so I bought it. That sparkly container sitting in my cabinet? Got it because it looked like that aesthetic organizer one vlogger I liked had. So those weren't even purposeful purchases. I literally got them on the basis of looking nice and looking like that one thing also owned by someone I like. And crazily enough, buying them at the time actually made me really happy, finally being able to scratch that unreachable itch. But at the current moment, they're just sitting there uselessly. Because surprise, surprise, I never had the need for them. I already had good slippers and a better, more spacious organizer at home in the first place. This is a simple illustration of what overconsumption is. You purchase for mundane reasons, feel that thrill, that novelty of owning something new only to have no real purpose for what you've just bought. In hindsight, this sounds like such an avoidable problem, but you'd be surprised at how deep and far human desire can go, even for simple objects. While it's true that the aspect of fitting in and chasing a certain style plays a huge role in overconsumption, this instant gratification is what worsens it. For example, if you've only ever wanted to fit in, then you'd buy the trendiest thing on the market and make use of it until it dies out. But when you add instant gratification into play, you'd feel compelled to buy other variants of this one trend because acquiring something new ever so often just feels so good. And I certainly agree that capitalism has played a massive role in this. Let's be honest, life has gotten harder lately. For many of us, owning a house, feels like a faraway fantasy. Some of us probably had our dreams delayed because we need God knows how many more years of schooling in a quality institution that definitely costs big bucks. Even having something as simple as time has gotten erased because we need to break our backs just to survive. So as impractical as it may be financially, it's no surprise that some people have turned to finding joy in material things because as long as you have the means to get a certain product right now, the gratification is already there. Once you have it in your hands, the dopamine rushes and your brain goes...
This is your reminder, it's literally not normal to have a $500 haul every week and something coming in the mail every day or like every week or even every week. Like what the... Sometimes I think people forget that we're in a fucking recession.
Overconsumption is one hell of a pipeline. Therefore, it's really no surprise that the habit of buying a few unnecessary things here and there can easily spiral into a shopping addiction. And I must say, it's certainly depressing to see this get treated as something quirky when we should handle it for what it is, an addiction. I'm going to speak from experience when I say that I do understand where shopaholics are coming from. See, when you've experienced some form of deprivation, it can be very easy to just start hoarding. Personally, I know what it's like to hug bags of food to my chest for safekeeping. Not even because I'm a big back, but because there's this intrinsic fear of ever going hungry again. And I see this with a lot of other people who've gone through rough patches in life. You know what it's like to be poor, so you spend money in fear of losing said money before it even gets the chance to be spent. This isn't the case for everyone, but it's pretty common. Another factor I see coming into play is the fact that some people with shopping addictions, they tend to shop for things they massively procrastinate on. I've seen people who want to read more buying tons of new paperbacks that only catch dust on their shelves. There are folks out there buying all sorts of camping gear, but never commit to it. Some buy a plethora of the best sports gear, but then never actually bother to play or train. I've even seen people saying they'll get to writing and sketching, proceeding to buy an exorbitant amount of notebooks and sketch pads, only to never use them. So again, things are being bought just for the sake of buying them, just to feel that dopamine surge, or to even feel as if progress is being made simply because the supplies are now bought. This is a huge point of concern for multiple reasons, but let's lay down the immediate issues. Exhibit A, it's terrible for your money. This is very expected considering the constant buying being done, but the pitfalls to this are severe, given that it could go down in any of these ways. Sure, at some point, you may have the money to buy and buy, but if that's all you're doing, you'll run out and you'll eventually have nothing left for the things you actually need. And it's even worse if you've never had the money to spend in the first place, because that means you're getting into debt, whether via credit card, loans, or borrowing money from people. Shooting yourself in the foot financially is the easiest way to cripple yourself in today's economy. Then there's the environmental impact. This is even more prominent in disposable products, or any sort of consumable. Think of skincare and makeup. Buy too many of them and some will expire before they even get emptied. Those products are in plastic containers, so upon getting thrown out, there will be more additional plastic waste in our already overflowing dumpsters. And given how slow plastic deteriorates, they'll stay on the earth for possibly longer than you will. And the damage to the environment, it goes beyond just the packaging of these items. For clothes, many people unfortunately do end up throwing away their unused clothes. Then they buy new ones, rinse and repeat, a lot of which come from fast fashion brands that churn out massive amounts of clothing, yet produce hefty amounts of pollution in doing so. Yearly, over 92 million tons of textile waste make their way into dumpsters.
This is Joe at the Jamestown Beach, right in the heart of Accra. Each week, 15 million second-hand clothes are imported here in Ghana from all over the global north. This end up in Kantamanto market, the largest second-hand clothing market in the world. A lot of upcycling, repurposing go on at the market, but 15 million on a weekly basis is too much. 40% end up at landfill. Most of this leach into our water bodies and are washed into the ocean.
Looking into the bigger picture, overconsumption in general is creating a staggering demand for so many products. That includes food, tech, clothing, and many more. If we all went down this road of excess, we'd be draining the earth dry of natural resources, essentially leaving us with much less to actually use and consume. So while overconsumption and the whole shopping galore mindset gets plenty of traction online, it's something we just can't leave to fester when its damages already make themselves startlingly clear. Realistically speaking, there will always be someone out there determined to live in excess. There will be people who don't care about the damages, individuals more interested in chasing the dopamine fix over addressing the problems coming with it. Is it depressing? I bet it is. But there are active efforts being made to combat overconsumption. People in the past 2 years or so have gotten more vocal about influencers' excessive lifestyles. There are people who have called out companies for their over-the-top PR packages and crappy repair systems. Some have even given a harsh glimpse into the realities of dealing with hoarding, most notably when the hoarder in question is their own parents. Has buying too many unnecessary things gone mainstream? Yeah, I'm afraid it did. But we're starting to see people snap out of it, and some companies have followed suit in pushing for sustainability rather than encouraging people to always chase for that shiny new product. Now, overconsumption became more common thanks to systemic issues. As mentioned earlier, the constant grind and financial stress coming into play for average citizens in capitalism fostered it. Then we have others like flexing culture and peer pressure getting into the way.
Americans don't overconsume because we're greedy, it's because we're exhausted. So many people are tired, overworked, and exhausted to the point of coping through overconsuming. And billionaires like us in this position because not only can we not properly advocate for ourselves when we're like this, but they also get to make money.
We can't deny that this is an issue that can't be fixed over time. We can't deny that this is an issue that can't be fixed overnight. But as individuals, there are steps we can partake in to somehow ease our own roles in overconsumption. One thing I will say is that collectively, we need to be more open to a circular economy. That means going against the whole buy, use, throw away formula. We need to be more old school for this one, embracing repairs instead of replacements, opting for quality instead of quantity, and being more open to getting some items secondhand. The thing with overconsumption is that it thrives off of us customers seeing products as one-time use novelties. But by spending our hard-earned money on longer-lasting items, we reduce the need to ever buy replacements. If more of us push for doing reparations over immediate replacements, we might just see more companies caring more about making products fixable rather than disposable. Then, of course, buying secondhand means less waste, as pre-loved items see new life again rather than getting dumped into some already polluted land. These are the most doable ways for us to really go against the grain in a system that seems to favor overconsumption. Some products might be cute, but if cute still finds its way to the dumpsters, then it might be better to go for something useful. Some people argue that gluttony is the tamest deadly sin, but I personally have to disagree. Gluttony has ruined wallets, it has ruined psyches, and horrifyingly enough, it has the power to ruin the planet. I can't even call some of these cheap drills when it clearly is costing us far too much already. Sometimes I've come to find that doing things the old-fashioned way might just be the best way. So next time you find something aesthetic online, really ask yourself, will I really use this once the excitement wears off? If you can't envision it being a staple in your life past the next week, then it might be better to keep your money in your pockets for now. Have you ever fallen into the trap of overconsumption? If you have, I would love to hear your story because I'm certain a lot of us have had our fair share of failed shopping stories. Once again, it's Current Champ reminding you, consume carefully and purchase purposefully. Peace.
And I'ma just do me. A new thing hold me down on 2 feet. That's 10 toes, bust 4, 5, and 6 foes. Need 2.